Welcome to Gentle Movements Longer Life. In this chapter, you'll discover how simple, natural motions can keep the body strong, the mind clear, and the spirit light. We'll explore why Okinawan centenarians rarely rely on gyms or intense workouts, and instead live in constant, gentle rhythm. Walking, gardening, stretching, and dancing as part of daily life. These movements may seem small, yet they are powerful medicine, preserving independence, preventing illness, and creating joy. By the end, you'll see that longevity doesn't come from pushing harder, but from moving often, step by step, breath by breath, flowing gracefully into a longer, healthier life. Section 1. The Power of Gentle Movement. When we imagine exercise, many of us picture gyms, weights, treadmills, and sweat. But in the blue zones of the world, where people live the longest, you won't find elders lifting heavy barbells or running marathons. Instead, you see them gardening, walking to visit friends, kneeling on tatami mats, sweeping their porches, or dancing at community festivals. Their secret is not intense workouts. It's gentle, natural movement woven into daily life. In Okinawa, many centenarians begin their day by stretching with the sunrise. These stretches are not demanding. They are slow, simple, and restorative. Some move their arms in wide circles, others bend gently to touch their toes, while others practice radio taiso, a series of light calisthenics broadcast on the radio since the 1920s. For elders, this ritual is as much about connection and routine as it is about health. Groups gather in community spaces, moving in unison, sharing laughter, and starting the day with energy. This kind of movement may appear modest, but its impact is profound. Gentle exercise keeps the body limber, supports balance, and prevents the stiffness that often comes with age. When muscles are lightly engaged, circulation improves, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every cell. Joints remain flexible, bones stay strong, and the risk of falls is reduced. For those in their 90s or even hundreds, this mobility means independence, the ability to cook, garden, visit friends, and live with dignity. Western science now echoes what traditional cultures have practiced for centuries. Studies show that consistent, low-intensity activity lowers the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and even certain cancers. Unlike sporadic bursts of intense workouts, which can sometimes lead to injury or burnout, gentle daily motion is sustainable. It doesn't strain the body, instead it nurtures it, building strength slowly over time. But gentle movement is not only about the physical body, it is also about the mind. When you walk at a calm pace, stretch slowly, or practice yoga or tai chi, your breath naturally deepens. The nervous system relaxes, stress hormones decrease, and the mind finds clarity. Many Okinawan elders describe walking in nature or tending their gardens as a form of meditation. With each step, each motion, they feel present and at peace. There is also a social dimension to movement. In Japan, Tai Chi groups, yoga circles, and morning walking clubs are common. Elders gather not just to move, but to connect. Movement becomes a ritual of belonging, a chance to laugh, share stories, and remind one another that they are not alone. This sense of community, combined with light exercise, creates a powerful recipe for emotional and physical longevity. Think of gentle movement as oil for the engine of life. Without it, the gears stiffen. With it, everything runs smoothly. Unlike exercise routines that require willpower and discipline, these movements are so simple, so natural, that they blend seamlessly into everyday life. You don't have to force them, you just live them. And this is perhaps the greatest lesson from Japan's centenarians. Longevity is not earned in a gym, but in the garden, on a walk, or in the small daily rituals that keep us moving. The path to a longer life begins not with intensity, but with consistency, step by step, breath by breath. Section 2. Movement as a way of living. In many modern societies, movement has become something we schedule. We go to the gym at a set hour, run on a treadmill, or follow a workout video online. While these routines can be healthy, they often feel separate from daily life, an obligation rather than a natural part of living. In contrast, in Okinawa and other long-living communities, movement is not something you plan. It simply happens because life itself demands it. Consider the structure of a traditional Okinawan home. Instead of high chairs and soft couches, families sit on tatami mats. To eat, to talk, to rest, they must sit on the floor and rise again, several times throughout the day. This simple act of lowering and lifting the body strengthens legs, hips, and core muscles. It keeps joints flexible and balance sharp. Skills that, for elders, can mean the difference between a fall and steady footing. Gardening is another quiet but powerful source of longevity. Tending a garden requires bending, squatting, carrying water, and walking back and forth. Each motion is small, yet together they create a gentle full-body workout. More importantly, gardening connects people with nature, the seasons, and the food they eat. It gives daily purpose, a reason to rise with the sun, and the satisfaction of watching life grow from seed to harvest. Even the way Okinawans travel reflects this philosophy of natural movement. Rather than relying heavily on cars, many prefer to walk or cycle to nearby markets, visit friends, or attend community gatherings. These short trips may seem insignificant, but they add up. By the end of each day, a person may have walked several thousand steps without ever thinking of it as exercise. Science backs up these traditions. Researchers have found that walking just 30 minutes a day can reduce the risk of heart disease, stroke, and cognitive decline. Gentle stretching, practiced daily, increases flexibility and lowers the likelihood of injury. Tai Chi, often called meditation in motion, has been shown to improve balance and coordination, especially in older adults. What seems soft on the outside creates incredible resilience within. There is also a mental and emotional wisdom in this way of life. Gentle movement practiced throughout the day prevents the body from falling into long periods of stillness. Sitting for hours at a desk or lying on a couch for extended times slows metabolism, stiffens muscles, and fogs the mind. By contrast, getting up often, even just to stretch, walk across the room, or take a short break outdoors, refreshes both body and spirit. In Okinawa, it is common to see elders pause during work, stretch their arms toward the sky, and take a deep breath of fresh air. These small rituals reset energy and bring lightness to the day. Another subtle but vital aspect is joy. When movement is tied to community, purpose, or beauty, it becomes pleasurable. Elders in Okinawa don't exercise because they must. They move because they love to dance, to tend their flowers, to walk with a friend, or to keep their home clean and bright. Movement is not punishment, it is celebration. This mindset changes everything. Instead of measuring calories burned or steps taken, life itself becomes the exercise. Each activity, whether sweeping the front steps, stretching before sleep, or carrying groceries from the market, serves both the body and the soul. And when done with consistency, these gentle actions accumulate into decades of health, vitality, and independence. We often search for longevity secrets in superfoods, supplements, or medical breakthroughs. Yet one of the simplest and most profound answers is already within reach. Keep moving, gently and often. The body is not designed for long stretches of stillness. It thrives when used, stretched, and engaged. Like a well-tuned instrument, it stays harmonious through regular care, not occasional bursts of effort. The lesson is clear. To live longer, do not force yourself into routines that feel heavy or unsustainable. Instead, embrace the movements that flow naturally into your daily life. Bend, walk, stretch, lift, breathe. Make these small rituals a rhythm, and let that rhythm carry you forward, day by day, year by year, into a life not just longer, but fuller. Section 3, the rhythm of daily life. If there is one secret to gentle movement, it is rhythm. In Okinawa, elders don't separate exercise from the rest of their day. Instead, movement is woven into every task, like threads in a fabric. The rhythm is steady, unhurried, and endlessly repeated. Over time, this rhythm becomes the heartbeat of longevity. Morning begins with small stretches. An elder might open a window, breathe deeply, and reach their arms toward the sky. Then perhaps they sweep the steps, water the plants, or walk to a neighbor's home to share tea. None of these actions feel like exercise, but each one requires the body to bend, reach, and flow. The day unfolds with chores, preparing food, tending a garden, hanging laundry, or walking to the market. Evening brings another walk, a bit of stretching, or kneeling to share dinner with family. Movement flows naturally from dawn to dusk. This way of life keeps the body in constant but gentle motion. There are no long hours of sitting followed by a single burst of intense activity. Instead, the body is asked to move regularly, in ways that feel light and sustainable. This pattern maintains circulation, balance, and muscle tone without strain. It is less about working hard and more about never becoming completely still. The rhythm of gentle movement also carries psychological benefits. Each motion, performed with presence, becomes a small act of mindfulness. Sweeping the floor can be meditation. Walking to the store can be reflection. Stretching the arms can be gratitude. When movement is tied to awareness, it enriches not only the body but also the soul. Elders often describe this as moving with harmony, with themselves, with their community, and with nature. There is wisdom here for modern life. Many of us live with long hours at desks, staring at screens, followed by short, intense workouts meant to make up for stillness. But the human body was not designed for extremes. It was designed for consistency, light, continuous movement throughout the day. A simple shift in rhythm, pausing every hour to stretch, walking instead of driving short distances, choosing stairs over elevators, can restore the natural balance our bodies crave. Science supports this idea. Research shows that sitting for long periods raises the risk of heart disease, obesity, and even premature death, regardless of whether you exercise later. What matters is not just the workout, but the rhythm of daily activity. People who stand, stretch, and walk regularly live longer, healthier lives than those who remain sedentary, even if they do high-intensity workouts a few times a week. Longevity is built in minutes, not marathons. There is also a cultural beauty in the Okinawan rhythm of movement. Elders often join community dances, especially during festivals. The steps are simple, graceful, and repetitive, allowing everyone, young and old, to participate. Dancing strengthens the body, lifts the spirit, and deepens social bonds. It reminds us that movement is not just a private act of health, but also a collective celebration of life. For those who practice martial arts in their later years, such as Tai Chi or Aikido, the emphasis is never on power or speed. Instead, it is on flow, breathing, and awareness. Movements are circular, smooth, and calm, reflecting the cycles of nature. Practiced slowly, these arts become both physical training and spiritual practice, nurturing balance and inner peace. This is the essence of rhythm. Movement not as effort, but as flow. The body moves, the breath deepens, the mind clears. Life itself becomes the exercise. There is no pressure, no struggle, no finish line to chase, only a steady pattern of motion that carries you forward, day by day, into a future of strength and vitality. When we live in rhythm, our bodies stay young even as the years pass. Muscles remain supple, joints stay flexible, and energy flows freely. The secret is not found in doing more, but in moving often, gently, naturally, and joyfully. And just as a song is remembered by its melody, a long life is remembered by its rhythm. Section 4. Gentle strength, lasting independence. When we think about aging, one of the greatest fears people carry is losing independence. The ability to walk on your own, prepare meals, or take care of daily tasks often determines whether you can continue living freely or must rely on others. Gentle movement, practiced consistently, is one of the most powerful tools to preserve this independence well into advanced age. In Okinawa, many elders well past their 90s still cook for themselves, walk to the market, and care for their gardens. Their secret is not hidden in high-tech equipment or strict fitness regimens. Instead, it lies in the strength built from small, repeated actions. Squatting to tend to plants, lifting baskets of vegetables, stretching each morning, and rising from tatami mats without assistance. These modest activities keep the muscles engaged and the body resilient, allowing them to remain self-sufficient far longer than most of their peers around the world. Modern science explains why this works. As people age, muscle mass naturally declines in a process called sarcopenia. Without regular use, the body weakens, balance falters, and the risk of falls increases. But gentle, consistent movement acts as a shield against this decline. Activities like walking, gardening, tai chi, and light stretching stimulate muscle fibers, maintain bone density, and enhance coordination. Even simple bodyweight movements, standing up from a chair without using the arms, reaching overhead, or balancing on one foot, help sustain strength and stability. The beauty of gentle exercise is its accessibility. You don't need to be young, athletic, or physically gifted to start. Every person, at every stage of life, can engage in movements that suit their abilities. For one elder, it might mean daily walks through the village. For another, it may be stretching the arms and legs while seated. What matters is not the intensity, but the continuity, the steady habit of asking the body to move. Equally important is the mental strength that gentle activity nurtures. Each time a person accomplishes a small task, walking to a neighbor's home, sweeping the yard, or rising from the floor, they reaffirm their independence. This builds confidence, which in turn encourages more movement. It creates a virtuous cycle. The more you move, the more capable you feel, and the more likely you are to keep moving. There is also joy in reclaiming the body as a trusted companion rather than an obstacle. Too often in modern culture, aging is viewed as decline, with the body seen as fragile or broken. But in Okinawa, elders see their bodies as lifelong allies, worthy of care, attention, and daily use. They treat movement not as a duty, but as gratitude for what the body allows them to do. A short walk is not just exercise, it is a celebration of the fact that they can still walk. Stretching in the morning is not just flexibility, it is a reminder that life continues to flow. Gentle strength also fosters connection between generations. In many Okinawan families, grandparents still play an active role, walking grandchildren to school, tending family gardens, or dancing during festivals. These shared activities not only strengthen the body but also deepen bonds of love and belonging. Movement becomes a bridge, allowing elders to stay engaged with family and community rather than retreating into isolation. This kind of active independence has far-reaching effects. Elders who continue moving and caring for themselves are less likely to suffer from depression, more likely to eat well, and more capable of participating in community life. Their independence preserves dignity and joy, creating a sense of purpose that extends well beyond the physical benefits. The lesson is clear. Lasting independence is not achieved through sudden bursts of effort, but through steady, gentle movement woven into everyday routines. Whether it is walking, stretching, gardening, or dancing, these small acts accumulate into strength that lasts a lifetime. And so, to cultivate longevity, do not wait for the perfect time to begin. Start where you are, with the movements available to you now. Embrace them not as tasks to check off, but as gifts, moments of freedom, gratitude, and vitality. In this way, your body will remain not a burden, but a trusted partner, carrying you gracefully through the years. Section 5. Movement as medicine for body and mind. In the modern world, medicine is often thought of as something we swallow, a pill, a supplement, a prescribed routine. But in Okinawa, movement itself is medicine. Gentle daily activity is a preventative cure, a healing force, and a natural way to extend both health and joy. Instead of treating illness after it arrives, they nurture vitality, so illness finds little room to take hold. Every step taken, every stretch performed, every dance shared with friends strengthens not only the body, but also the mind. The science is clear. Consistent, low-intensity movement reduces inflammation, improves circulation, balances hormones, and strengthens the immune system. It lowers the risk of chronic conditions like heart disease, diabetes, and osteoporosis. Yet beyond these physical benefits lies something deeper. Movement is one of the most reliable ways to lift mood, reduce anxiety, and maintain mental clarity. When we move, our bodies release endorphins, natural chemicals that bring calm and happiness. A gentle walk in the morning sun, for example, not only exercises the legs but also stimulates vitamin D production, which supports bone health and boosts mood. Light stretching encourages deeper breathing, helping the nervous system shift away from stress and into relaxation. Even a few minutes of slow, mindful movement can create a noticeable difference in how we feel. In Okinawa, elders often describe their movements as rituals of joy. Gardening is not a chore, it is therapy. Walking to the market is not just transport, it is a chance to greet neighbors and feel the rhythm of the community. Dancing during a local festival is not performance, it is medicine for the heart, reminding everyone of their shared humanity. These everyday movements are infused with meaning, making them doubly powerful, healing the body while uplifting the spirit. There is also a cognitive benefit that cannot be ignored. Studies have shown that regular physical activity slows cognitive decline and reduces the risk of dementia. Gentle exercises that coordinate movement with breathing, like Tai Chi, Qigong, or yoga, are particularly effective at keeping the brain sharp. They require focus, balance, and memory, creating a workout not only for the muscles but also for the mind. Elders who practice these arts often remain mentally clear and emotionally balanced well into their advanced years. But movement as medicine does not have to be formal or structured. It can be as simple as walking barefoot on grass, taking time to stretch the spine after sitting, or swaying to music in the living room. What matters is the intention, the awareness that every movement is a gift to yourself. When approached with gratitude, even small motions become healing. In the West, people often push themselves into intense, punishing workouts in pursuit of health. While these may deliver short-term gains, they can also lead to injury, fatigue, or burnout. In contrast, the Okinawan philosophy shows us that gentleness is powerful. The body does not need to be pushed to its limits every day. It simply needs to be cared for, consistently and kindly. Movement, when gentle, allows us to maintain strength and vitality without harm. This perspective transforms the way we view exercise. No longer is it a duty we dread or a task to squeeze into our schedules. Instead, it becomes a daily medicine, free, accessible, and always available. Every time you rise from your chair, every time you take a walk, every time you stretch before bed, you are giving your body the treatment it needs to stay vibrant. Perhaps this is the greatest wisdom from Japan's centenarians, that health is not something you chase when it disappears, but something you cultivate in small, daily ways so it never leaves. Movement is not separate from life, it is life. To move is to breathe, to connect, to feel alive. And when you treat movement as medicine, you are not only preventing illness, you are creating joy, resilience, and longevity. Section 6. A life in motion. Longevity is not a single choice, nor is it the result of one dramatic action. It is the outcome of small, steady rhythms repeated over decades. Gentle movement is one of those rhythms, a quiet force that keeps the body young, the mind clear, and the heart open. In Okinawa, the centenarians who embody this wisdom don't think of themselves as exercising. They simply live in motion. When we look at their lives, what we see is harmony. Work is movement. Rest is movement. Celebration is movement. There is no sharp divide between physical activity and everyday life. Each moment provides a chance to stretch, walk, bend, or dance. Instead of chasing fitness, they embody it, allowing movement to arise naturally from their environment, traditions, and sense of purpose. The gardens they tend keep their bodies active and their spirits nourished. The markets they walk to strengthen their legs while offering connection to neighbors. The festivals they dance in exercise their hearts while binding their communities together. Every action serves multiple purposes: health, joy, and meaning. Nothing is wasted. This way of living has an important message for us today. Longevity does not require perfection. You do not need to spend hours in the gym or follow strict programs to enjoy a long and vibrant life. What matters most is consistency, the gentle, everyday motions that accumulate like drops of water filling a well. Over years, they create resilience that no single burst of effort could replace. Science affirms this truth. Studies of the longest living populations show that their daily activity levels are moderate but constant. They rarely sit for long stretches. They walk often, bend naturally, and engage in tasks that require light physical effort. Their muscles stay active, their joints remain flexible, and their cardiovascular systems function smoothly. They do not push their bodies to exhaustion, but they also do not let them fall into idleness. This balance is the secret. There is also a spiritual depth in living a life in motion. Movement reminds us of our connection to the flow of time, to the cycles of nature, to the impermanence of all things. Each step, each stretch, each dance is a way of participating in life's great rhythm. For Okinawan elders, movement is gratitude in action, a way of honoring the body, the earth, and the gift of another day. We too can cultivate this approach. It doesn't require living in a village or having a garden. It begins with simple choices. Walk when you can, stretch when you rise, breathe deeply as you move, and see each action as an opportunity to care for yourself. Let your life itself be the exercise, and let that exercise bring not only health, but also joy. In the end, longevity is less about how long you live and more about how well you live. A body that moves gently and often is a body that stays strong. A mind engaged in motion is a mind that stays clear. A heart that dances with others is a heart that stays open. Together, these truths weave a life that is not only longer, but also richer, fuller, and more connected. Gentle movement is not just about adding years to your life, it is about adding life to your years. It allows you to rise each morning with energy, to meet each day with resilience, and to close each evening with gratitude. It ensures that even as time passes, your body remains a trusted companion, your mind a steady guide, and your spirit a joyful presence. To live is to move, and to move is to live. Embrace that rhythm, and you will discover that longevity is not a distant dream, but a daily practice. Step by step, breath by breath, motion by motion, you will find yourself carried gently into a long and meaningful life. That wraps up Gentle Movements, Longer Life. We've seen how small, consistent actions, walking, gardening, stretching, and dancing, help maintain strength, flexibility, and independence well into advanced age. More than physical fitness, these movements nurture calm, community, and joy, turning daily life itself into a gentle medicine. But longevity is not only about keeping the body in motion, it also requires strength of spirit. In the next chapter, we'll explore resilience and wabi-sabi, how embracing imperfection, finding beauty in simplicity, and cultivating emotional resilience allow us to navigate life's challenges with grace, balance, and a sense of purpose that endures through every season.